These are the plaintiffs, Ronald and Maureen Gabriel. Ronald says they sold his wife Maureen's car to the defendant, Maureen's daughter, and she was supposed to pay them $50 a week until the car was paid off. She only made 2 payments, and then he called her to see what was what and got no response. They got no more money, and now they're out $900 and are suing. This is the defendant, Victoria Krasminski. She says her mother gave her the car, and when she got back together with Ronald, he started demanding money from her. The car was never even registered to him. It was in her mother's name, and he has no right to demand money from anyone. Besides, the plaintiff's got the car back. She has no idea why she's being sued, and she needs the judge's help. She's accused of not paying off her relatives.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff sold a car to their daughter and she stiffed them. But the defendant says Maureen split with Ronald and got back together and he has a thing against her. It's the case of car crazy.
Thank you, Douglas. Ronald and Maureen Gabriel?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing Maureen's daughter, Victoria. There's six consonants in a row. I can't do it. What is it?
Krasminski.
Krasminski. Victoria Krasminski. For $900 that you say is owed to you on a sob that you sold her. Tell me what's going on.
Well, she needed a car because the car she had, she ruined it. Something would happen to it. So she said she needed the car. So my wife, it was my car. My wife registered the car in her name and let Victoria pay the interest, pay the insurance so she could go back and forth to work. She did this for about 2 months, I believe, and then she asked Maureen.
Who owns the title? The title to the car is in whose name? It's in your name? Okay, go on.
And this went on for about, I guess, a couple of months when she was going to work. Then she finally asked Maureen if she could buy the car. And Maureen said, well, I'll ask Ron, that's me.
Well, okay, Maureen, why don't you tell me the story since none of that has to do with
That's
Ron.
what happened, Your Honor. I was at my daughter Kimberly's house, and Victoria was living there at the time. And she had an automobile that had broke down. No fixing it. So I said,
were you living there too, or no? You were just visiting?
I was at my daughter Kimmy's house.
Were you visiting, or were you living there?
No, I was staying there for a little while.
Oh, you were also staying there.
Yes.
So the three of you, is this Kimberly?
No, that's
Okay.
my older sister.
That's okay. Okay, so go on.
Okay, so she has my granddaughter, of course, and I couldn't see her not being able to make money because she's a single mother. So I said, well, why don't you let me call Ron and I'll see if he could bring the car here and you could, I registered in my
Were
name.
you two separated at the time? Like you were having
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go on.
So I got,
registered in my name, is that what you said?
yeah. I
Okay,
guess
was it not already registered in your name?
No, I think it was in Ron's name.
Is that accurate?
No, it wasn't registered. I bought the car, we never registered. I had it at my house. It was
All right.
never registered.
All right, so you register it in your name. Why don't you, if it's your car, why don't you register it in your own name?
I had 2 cars already. I bought
Okay.
that for her, but
Okay.
she didn't like it.
All right,
So it
so
just
go
sat in my
ahead.
yard.
Okay, so I said to her, I'll call Ron and see if you can use the car because you have to get back and forth to work. And so I called him and he said, yeah, that's fine. So I had it there and then I registered in my name and my daughter had to pay the insurance because she was going to drive it. And 2 days
Why
later,
didn't she just register it in her name?
because it was still my car, I wasn't giving her the car, Your Honor.
Okay.
And until she got her own car. So then after that, I was going back home, and she said, we think I can buy the car from Ron. I said, I'll ask him. So I asked him, and he told
So you
me,
and Ron make up.
yeah.
How long were you at the sister's house?
About 3 weeks.
Okay, so you and Ron make up, you go back, and then you go to Ron and say what?
I said, is it okay if Victoria buys the car? I said, I really don't like it anyway, you know?
Okay.
And he goes, okay. So he called Victoria.
So now you have the discussions with Victoria yourself.
Yes, I do.
All right, now how much had you paid for the car?
I paid $3,500, and it cost me another $1,000 to get it straightened out. I bought a new battery for it, new tires, and a water pump, and a fuel pump.
All right, and so you end up talking to Victoria and selling it to her for how much?
$1,000.
How come?
she needed the car bad, and I didn't care. I didn't want the car
So
anyway.
did she pay you anything towards that?
Yeah, she paid me twice. She paid me July $50 and August $50.
So she paid you $100. And then what happens? She stops paying, and does she
And
tell
she
you
stopped
why?
paying me, and I never got any more money after that. And I kept calling her, but she never would answer.
And did you ever talk to her during that time and ask her, why aren't you paying Ron?
Well, yes, I did, but there was like a bad language on the phone, so I didn't do it anymore.
And that went on for how long before you filed a lawsuit?
Probably about 7 months.
And so you don't
I
see your
called her up.
grandkid?
I called her up and I told her to junk the car, take the plates off it, junk the car, and I'll deduct the money you owe me off it. But she let it sit there for another 7 or 8 months. She never junked it, and she never took the plates off it. Stayed right there
So
in her yard.
who has the car now?
I got it home, and I got rid of it.
How did you get it home?
She paid
She
for it.
paid. She paid to have
She
it
towed
towed.
it it or drove it?
Towed it.
She told it because I think she's got AAA.
But why wasn't the car working? What happened to the car?
I don't know exactly what happened to it, but it broke down when I went to go drive it to work one day, and it just never worked after
So you
that.
towed it to their house and then you junked it.
I junked it, right?
And you junked it for $150.
Yes.
Right. How come you're not deducting that from what's owed according to you? In other words, why aren't you suing for $750 instead of $900?
Well, 900 is what she owes me. She owes me $900.
Well, but you pocketed $150. So that
Yeah,
mitigated
I
your
thought we did.
damages. It's all right.
Yeah, I thought we did.
Yeah. So now, okay, so according to you, did you buy that car from Ron?
No.
What's your story?
My mother gave it to me. My mother moved in with me and my sister, and she knew that I was struggling with vehicle. I had to get to work, and she said, the car's been sitting there. We don't use it. Just, you can have it. I'll register it, because I was having problems with registration, back payments.
Meaning? Meaning what?
Meaning I owed car taxes on a previous car.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to register it. So she agreed to do that for me, and I insured it.
Okay.
And then when they made up and she went back home, they discussed some, and then they started calling me about owing them $1,000 for the car. So I felt bad. I didn't want to cause any turmoil between the two of them. So I made a few payments. But then I had some conversations with a few people, and it just didn't sound right. So then I stopped, and I told him that I don't agree that I should have to pay you when my mother gave me this car.
So you're in a situation like this. Your husband says, sue your daughter. Do you side with your daughter or your husband?
You gotta side with your daughter and just figure out a way to work it out.
But if he's saying you're being a chump, you're letting your daughter walk all over you, I'm going to lose respect for you, you going to side with him?
No, I mean, it's not a matter of suing, it's just a matter of getting the daughter to pay her back somehow.
But she's not going to pay back. Push comes to shove, you get the final word. You side with your daughter, you side with your husband.
I'd say good luck.
You book it.
Good luck.
She's pretty smart, actually. Going inside the courtroom.
Do you have any proof that your mother gave you the car?
Yes, I have a voicemail.
A voicemail left by whom? Your mother?
My mother on my older sister's phone.
Is this the older sister?
Yes.
Okay, come on up. Can I hear the voicemail?
Yeah.
But why is she calling you on the older sister's phone?
Sometimes she does that.
Okay.
She just
And leaves a message with the wrong person?
With everybody.
she does it. Yeah, with everyone.
I sometimes call my children my pet's name. Because I confuse my children with a living being that loves me unconditionally. What am I going to hear now, Mom? I can't wait. I'm on pins and needles. Go ahead.
Mommy, I just found out when I was talking to you about it. I thought he was lying. I said, touch my child. You are in deep. I gave her the car. What are you going to do? You don't touch my daughter. You son of a... You don't mess around with my kids. That is my daughter. She had a baby. I did it. I gave her that car. Me. You touched my daughter.
Well,
I lent her that car, not gave her that car.
yeah, but that's what you said. I gave you that car. How are you? She was mad because she found out he was suing you?
Yes.
She couldn't give her that car, Your Honor. That was my car.
Are you listening to the tape I just heard?
Yes, I am.
And you're coming into court, and you want me to find and first of all, the car's in her name, and she's saying she gave it to her, but you want me to order her to finish paying you for the car.
I didn't give her the car.
Why'd you say you did?
I have no idea when I said that.
What can I do for you? What can I do for
I
you
did
that
not
you
give
cannot
it
do
to-
for yourself? I mean, I just heard your voice. Were you drunk?
Yeah, I was drinking that day, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I guess you should be more careful when you're drunk. Do you guys, because I think it's pathetic that we're here and you guys were smiling triumphantly when I reacted to the tape. Does this not make you sad, though, this whole thing?
Oh, well, of course it does. I don't feel that we should be here either.
When was the last time you spoke to your mom?
I speak to her all the time.
All the time. Does she see your kid?
Yeah, she.
Yes, I just had her for 5 days.
So what does she? I hear what she said then about the fact that he was. So do you folks get along with him?
I don't really communicate with him too much. I deal with him because he's my mother's husband.
Oh yeah, I want to hear from you right now.
Yes, Your Honor. The only time they really deal with them, and this is the truth, is when they need money.
Then stop giving the money.
Well, we are.
But here's the thing. I have you on tape saying that you gave it to her, and if that's what you do originally, you can't change it just because he gets mad.
No, Your Honor, what happened at that very time, I was stuck in the middle of all this.
Well,
So
right,
I
but some
said to
people
him,
would be stuck in
fine,
the
I'll
middle.
give her the car. Because I didn't want to be in the middle. They're swearing at him and everything else. I just wanted it to stop.
Oh, I'm sorry, but you were calling him a son of a. The tape.
Well, I did say it because
right.
he wouldn't
and
stop.
you were saying to on that tape, what you were saying is, "Don't touch my kids," and you were very maternal. And you said, "I gave you that car. I gave you that car. I gave you that car." You said that numerous times. What do you expect a judge to do? Verdict for the defendant. Thank you.
So the plaintiff's own words on the telephone message played in court really cooked the plaintiff's case here in the court. What do you think about what just happened here?
I think we got screwed, if I know the truth.
No. In what way? Explain what you mean.
Because it was my car.
Yeah.
She couldn't give her the car. It was my car.
But it's in her name now, right?
Well, she registered, so
Right, so it's
she
in her
registered
name.
so she could use it. Yeah.
Okay, but it's in her name.
Well, that's all right. They know the truth and they know the real deal. That's all.
Okay. Let me ask you, are you going to get along with them now?
No,
or is it-
no, I don't want nothing to do with them.
Really?
Yeah.
It's over.
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. This is like a family falling apart here in front of our very eyes. It's good you had that telephone message.
Yeah.
No kidding. I mean, that's why you won the case.
Yeah.
The judge had no other choice. But what do you think's going to happen now with your mother and her husband?
I think eventually they'll get over it. I mean, it is what it is right now. So.
All right. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
It's a very sad situation.
Thank you very
Thank you very
much.
much. Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, Doug, look, I mean, this happens all the time in the people's court, that somebody gives somebody something, and then the two of them beef, and whether it's a relationship or a friendship or whatever, and all of a sudden they say, okay, you owe me for it. A gift is forever. A gift is forever. You can't reconvert it back to a loan. The only exception is if you give somebody a gift in contemplation of getting marriage. Then if you don't get married, you get the gift back. Otherwise, it is a gift for eternity.